Fulfillment of our project, which is the 12TM1 of bio lecture, I'm going to talk about the urinary system for you guys. Now the first question is trace the blood flow from the veins to the arteries and the nephron. Well, it's simple. As the blood comes from the heart, goes down to the kidneys then filters it out or does something with it, and goes to and it will be intercepted by the nephrons, which is found in the kidneys, which is basically filters out the blood itself. After being filtered out, it will then be passed through on the veins, which is then connected to the urethra. Then urethra going to the gallbladder, which is then stored, and once accumulated enough, it will be released. Second question, let's go with the urine formation. The urine formation is basically it starts from the kidney, because the kidney is made out of three parts, which is the renal cortex, the renal medulla, and the renal pelvis. The renal medulla is where the urine is created, and the renal pelvis is where it's going to be transported to the urethra, down to the gallbladder, which is later on. As the blood passes back to the kidney, it's getting filtered out by the glomerulus, which is basically a bunch of capillaries formed together just to filter out the blood itself. And after passing through the glomerulus, it will pass through the BCT, the nephron loop, and the DCT, which then will be passed through the collecting loop, the collecting tube, which is then gonna be processed for the urethra down to the gallbladder. What happens to the urine basically? The urine is basically created from the filtrate caused from the glomerulus, which is then been filtered out of its sodium and its rest of the stuff, mixed with urea, which is secreted from our kidneys, by the way, down to the nephron loop, in which the high concentration of salt removes water from it and important stuff such as minerals and proteins. Then we'll be going back to the DCT, where it's basically urine in general, as it passes through the next giant ass loop, which is also known as the urethra, down to the gallbladder. Now in the gallbladder is where it's going to be stored. The gallbladder, as the urine is accumulating in the gallbladder, it can hold up into a lot of milliliters. As it heads from the gallbladder, it basically waits for it to be full, and when it's full, it will signal the brain that I need to pee. And if I need to pee, then you gotta pee, because the rectal sphincter will cause you to pee, because it's a valve that opens up and makes the urine fall out of whatever part comes out of yours. And basically that's it, that's urination. Now, let's answer some following questions. What are the three mechanisms that maintain our blood pH level? Well, it's simple. It's the buffers, the respiratory control, and the renal control. The buffers are basically the proteins found in our body. These are an example of a good buffer situation. Now, for the respiratory control have you known that whenever we breathe air or carbon dioxide, it actually increases the pH level in our body by acidic levels, since carboxylic acid can be formed from our lungs itself, which then causes it to be more acidic. It actually helps balance the pH level in our body. Next of that is the renal control. Well, from the word renal, you already probably know what I'm talking about. It's basically our kidneys. From the discussion I had right now, the kidneys are basically what is the god of pH level control. Whatever comes through the blood goes through the kidneys. So whatever is acidic, the kidneys will make it into a neutral as it passes through the blood system and going to pee. Next, we're going to talk about the question of what are the implications of acidosis and alkalosis. Sweetie, those are diseases. Basically, acidosis is because when your body has too much acid in their body. And when you have too much acid, it lowers the rate of albumin creation, which then creates complications in your body, which is also known as muscle wasting, because it drives away proteins, which is muscle loss. And then due to the muscle loss, you'll have loss of breathing, increased rate of heart rate, you're gonna have in a coma, in some cases even death. Basically, alkalosis occurs when your body has too many bases. And it will occur especially if your carbon dioxide count is low in your body, which is basically an acid if you keep on respirating. So, due to alkalosis, it will create a lot of complications in your body, and so that's alkalosis. So, in case I hope you learned something from today. We're running out of time. May I see you in the next video. Bye.